Tiefu adofo medamase nokware no ne adwumadie no enoa na yahya ase enanwumre ya yede ebre etiefuo efri efie eye atonsu ebokro ahai na meda obibia se monkafra o meda obibia se nansa na yebehya ase no wose meda adofo ne nyankopon asese wagege ya baba na odi ya baba bedru sei ama 2021 abeto ye wo asomdwiem na asan ye ho eso eko eye obo ade ya adom a 2021 pekwa akogu eye chena enkoa inti na chi no yesra nyankopon enkwane ne bambone na hoden de ma etiefo ene yadofo nyina me icon beka say Michael Jackson, late Michael Jackson beka say I'm nothing without my fans, intino I'm also nothing without my viewers. Intino I'm very grateful to all my viewers. Intino sana me icon edetete yen nti emma obi biara oye Michael Jackson fan bia ebe part of Michael Jackson a oye ne den onkoda inti sana Michael editete ne fans say oye nothing without ne fans inti ema ne fans so ebe jitu muhu ema ye kire ne say in fact we are part of him and he's part of us inti saa so na me viewers so misua die odi omo di yanim oma besene ko usua na namontu a u feel say eye na oso de aka wabraba ho na odi abo se de etie ene fata inti no medadofo ase obi bia aba no na mefa saa kwanya we so na madadofo ase omo aye sha ase ne omo ye adwuma yi eye nokware no nie yes ase 15th of April adofo edom yen a omudi ye chia baba bepem this time ebepem se enne nokware no nie abe household name meda obi bia se nyankopon hira wo bia o contributive right from day one ebepem na fi se abrabo na etese trotra etwam anase basa ekone baby ebi si na ebi afro intimenim so omo si kwan mu nyina will come and join later intino meda obia sese wabo machidom na meda ma Mary Gardner ase se ono ne oba nokware no nie wadi wabaso na wabaso ono ne oba wodi kan eba nokware no nie ekane ebepem enne ogusu a obomachidom omma ema obi ehun no nansoso no omma me afutuo wo backdoor omma me afutuo pa omma ba ma me afutuo ne doso na me brema so aseso etie me afutuo no enye any limit obi biara of feel say e was so to me for not netting me bia no is welcomed if he said no one is above your friend is atenetene intine me bre me ho ase ebre maso say obe ofa pen nkoa wo me ho dia metie na sopem na madane mama akwan am wadane me emma asiutil na waka say Ebenezer de ode ya bedru ni Ebenezer yeda na se papa intino without much ado said the bruni ebeka no meda uncle Kwaflex ase meda na benyi MPP fo a omene omo ombeye me panel members meda obi ase meda Thomas ene semak actor mo ene obi bia uncle Sabato uncle Kwesi ata obia ebo mechiridom backdoor ne de bebre ana meda regional youth organizers obia ene me kasa backdoor na eye mani gye eye mahoho aho ase ye fa pen ede to me niema ho na obia ma akeme enti na meda asie na mesada uncle Benjamin Pabitey ase say me kasa oye me rocka mpa because e drum rebi no na enye wono a anka mentimi endru baabi a medri ono ana sisa me broken pieces no ana okeka ne nyina boom na osama me ehye ye ma me standing on my 2 feet into se me ba na me sere a na munnim what is behind the scenes se su a ebia mesu apepa manim ni nyina oye me rock ntino na wa pepa manim ni so back door na wa ma bibia aye yo se eye sign eko na koye de wo se wo ye no na ejai esu pepa wanim na wa mama pepa manim kama na ma betena wo na mesre intimida na se papa ewo edia wa ya ma me na menua bema Joseph Alam aka esoso medana se papa ni esi Bentel mi producer ba akopɛ a na chi ebia ni hobium eye Amarozi nyankopon mede nyankopon da na se papa se onhwe ne so na omo ne ho ban ewa akwaniasa ni nyina so na onsa emfa no embra mi biem na ne ho dodo no but nyankopon adom sesei ne ho ye epa enesa ne ho ye pa ye da nyankopon ase obi afa ne ho ntumi o na me ka ase me yare me gusu a me yare nso so enne no de minim so obo ade adaro ma me ho ye system no entimi enuro bebre intimi yare a me nko sroto me twen na enua ensuo bebre nom ne mitimi didia na ye twe na meda bebre na chese niema no yare no twe free me system ni mukọ intimi sra wo yare a ya akọ hospital na me de me system no ana enya engie duro no intimi sra mo wo yare a no akọ hospital na enuro ho beto na nyankopon ka obia ho nti enne no de ene ne be sha ase I did dwumadie ya 30th of December 2021 Evangelist Richard PRAH na obi bebi sa say da na me hu papa we na dwumaden o na dwumaden papa we adwumaden nhyiaye so for ye lucky to say de askwafo so ye lucky say omunya honorable Amokamel no nhyiaye so for so lucky to have Evangelist Richard PRAH say obeye omu PC if it said 2020 no election ne de omu a PC fo a Ashanti region nya omu free NDC de akwadwo ni bia anim omu nyina abo omu homoden na omu de adwumaden eboa omu party papa yi oye adwuma atra nhyiaye so eba constituency a na bimben no ntine se minimum no ana onimia adwumaden ye kohyiehyiae wo baabi bebre adwumaden obo edema NDC party no wo Ashanti region intino Reverend Evangelist PRAH nyankopon hyira wo ne odo a wo ma o party na mesafa akwanya we so no mada honorable Amokamel askwa NDC se menka nkyere wo se omoda ase yesi askwani daso ene honorable Amokamel asokwa semenhia ene kunle NDC asokwa se menka nkyera wo se omoda ase omani so de wo yema awom abra yeyiu se wo ye PC ebeka o manye no nko a omko radio no so se menka nkyera wo se nyankopon hyira wo efi se Oma omo airtime ene TNT emomo de ko radio eco defende NDC party kunle nyaminsa wom kunle nyankopon enhyira NDC askwa constituency se memfa kwanya we so gift na wo beye ye na doye na wo de ye wo mo during Christmas no omo nsa ka into grassroots ene wards ene branches enyina ene constituency no omo nyina se omo da kulne ase ewo dia wo ye ma wo mu during a 20 afiwe Christmas na ye to asheda o nti kule me de me to me de asheda nti no memo aso atena de me de abrami na me hwe na mafa Reverend Abaso se me nkasa nwie di nso me hwe se Reverend owa na mafa no e de abaso me hu se Phyllis Quartin me da se wabe join any obi biara opese o join biara no nti na review any Christmas kwan a ye fa so a ye di ye bronya na ekosen na ekoyi me de me hunu so metume de ahyeda nkasa nti na wo de na utu hyeda ana wudi ni biala bi eno ene ho keka ho ane ye beka na yasan aka bibia fa sede media no yaka o matum a obi antimi nkasa no yaka media na anu atum obi antimi nkasa ede na ekwe ukokasa pe ni atage wa ye nyina ebe kasa me anya atage efise ye sei diofrudu apa no ane ye pia no wo de anya ye ntimi mpia ho se wo ya ade na se dodo na enso ani a ye ntimi mo wabaso saa e ma ne nye yie ya ntete Ghana fo esa kanewu ye mu bi mu eye kanewu obo ye kura na ye be kanewu ana numerous of scandals ye say 118 scandals a see wo Nana Akufo-Addo amemu ni mu na me boss bisa me say is everything okay me hu Reverend na ma ade no obaaye me ade no ade ntini me gusu a me hwe say obetimi edi aya na ntini me de is everything is okay with me here but aka say evangelist Richard PRAH ebe join na menene kasa ye yakasa earlier a obe join ntino me gusu a me hwe nti so nya bape na mede na to so anye saade a ne chese mape obi foforo ama waba be kayen sama ye di dwumadie no sede yetie no ye ntwen bronya ansan ye di pancake de bia ye boro dada ye ntwen yetie dum na nye ye ne agikum na boro nsa ye boro ya boro dada nti the show must go on somehow si mehwe say Reverend mensabe kano ebiemu a either obe request or me saye we because me hunu aha na me de no aka ho atoso nti no se me ma me ho be 5 minutes na wentimi an join ya na masre obi amana abe join dwumadie kruya na ye ntino obi a wo ho nimdie bia no ebetimi ajoine ama dwumadie akoso sede se ena efata pepepe obi a enfrɛ mi o na am online obetimi a private chat me opese one me kasa ha ntino Reverend Abba said your promise ye no anti aden ama na be joine ye no abeka yensa nti Reverend evangelist with Richard PRAH my friend is sama akamanum ntino or may ade no or ade ntino se onya ade se vim na chese dwumadie no ya sha ase anesa nti egusu a ade misro ye friend say MTN everywhere you go misro munyai de moye no na mumma ne man hyeda enkoyie emfa mami enwumre kra was se moye na bibia eko no wa mintimi ade enye we nti MTN mesrem a munye bibi enfa ho nti no ansa na reverend wentimi ansa join it wentimi join it kra nti me hwe na me de akọ groups ekeka ho na yaye ye bedo ye nyano a obi foforo ebe join it na ye dwumadie no efefefe sede se na efata enne no holiday bia ni ho MTN ene ye friend se Mrs Mistress mesrewa munya na ne ye mo aban na chi eye bronya yi ekono ana ye beka ho asem enti munya na afidie no entimi enye de wo se ye na etiefo enjoy na de mo ye ne de ye ne nye ho sa ye twie sika kese enso so ye hunu sika no a ye tria no ho mfaso bia sa ye nye yi we don't get the value for our money ye nya intino yesere mo ene enwumre de mamo nye mo niema no munyai na ade no inflow ne yetwiaka papa nti mumma etiefo enye we nti still etiefo said ya maka no ade batentimi ade ntino se enramu a enye obi afort obi anim efidi ntentan no said ye etie ntino eba ne saade a na de obetimi awramu no wo ya available no na mahwe na me de na awramu ntino so oba na yatoa dwumadie no so na ye kama entimi nwramu wa wo so bia obohunu se ade decline broni beka se decline ntino said ye ese decline no enye yentimi entwen yi no esa ntino me sa ade biom ade na decline ntimi ade na chese kamia esese ye network no na ye niema bebre empese ene no dwumadie no said ye wose ekoso no wose ekoso ne enya smooth way ntimi gusu a me ade me de tiefo ase omo hwe ne life nyina mesre moma mon share enfamayen na mon share emayen na monye hi wo be join ni bia na wa say hi na all like it na de mai na all like it nti mesre mo se mon like enfamayen masaye no answer no bibia from bibia biom ade no ya yorene Uncle Ben
I'm live. You are live? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uncle Ben.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
If I chat to say,
Yami adom ne mon Bible.
Akwa so.
Me da say. Bibia boko de.
Yes. Bibia boko pa na eja. Say network no. Entimi emwa ma evangelist intimi rem me ya na a decline into
Okay.
rem into into no ebia baby o no na network no enye that stronger because me na kasa hello
Yeah.
Reverend Pesa Oba pa HSA
Manu turning the phone no this way.
okay.
The walk it and vertical a bed diamond. One turning the phone
okay.
no.
Okay. Any one no crowd line so ntina em se wate dada.
Or tenia. Now
hello, Reverend.
Green so.
Reverend, me pacho me te wonka o. Hello, pacho te menka. Inti no yesi wo phone no se we ye no why? Enye hwe se wo betimi awramu a na inti se oye na wantimi awramu dia enye mefrɛ wo na kyese waka nkomo no ho no waka sawo lie so say dia me ne wo ye no
ana min ko off na unhwe se obetimi afa no
ana say me pacho yo nti Uncle Ben call off the screen ni ahwe se metimi afa wa Evangelist me pacho teminka me say Uncle Ben call off into a call offer na ma hwe se metimi asa afa wa okay you into Uncle Ben me pacho call off my into me hu ma Becky me da se pa woni a woye ma me no ho o hye na wasan ahwe me ho Nyankopon hyira ma into se me hwe se Reverend ebeba me sister accidental a join me Nyankopon hyira a join nyame hyira papa NDC France edwumadie ubenya bi ahwe wo NDC France any Waslina TV YouTube and Facebook and the umbrella and also YouTube any Facebook chegu whole life na fe no kware no ne page so chegu ho no life sesia menemu kasa no sesia chegu whole life nti ebehwe na yafa Reverend biom evangelist sorry yefa evangelist biom na se enya no a na wa ba na ye ne na dwuma minye hu no ha sei yet minye hu ne pe na me de naka ho ama waye nti no me da obi ase metiefo ahwefo nyina me da obi bia ase se obi a abeka ye ho nti no na kware no nie no empu with evangelist Richard PRAH on a 2020 parliamentary candidate for in Shiaso 2020 candidate for in Shiaso constituency me di kan se obo adwuma pa nti Nyankopon ma ontimi nwram ade na yen hwe de no ebetimi wawram amai
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Major so many aba.
Na me da se pa sa waje bre na wabeka yensa ena nwumre
Menso meda si bebre me mo bia fishiapa Uncle Ben meda na sefa se na wo se medane me phone no enti na amana che but ni nyina ye me chia obia o hwe no kremre na mabo wa baso pa ni adwuma a wo ye follow
Meda sepa. If I tell you no quarrel ni
no kware no ni yeah
no quarrel ni inti no meda sepa me so me follow pa e o baby bia wo beko bia me follow
yeah the
pa ti
radius
say dwumadin a wo ye edeboa NDC ne asanteman a NDC ye o party ene Ghana man ntine emma baby a ura bia radio so TV so ni nyina me follow pa me kase me follow na me boa me follow
yeah the
papa
radius
nti minimum adwumadin a obo e de ama Ghana man enyina titru ene nhyiaye so man Ashanti region ene bibia nti no bronya yi ede na ekoye ekoyie
yo ma memfa sa kwa we so na mensan so ma obia fishiapa na minchi obia wajibre o hwe wudwumadi ene ubisa me bronya ene se ne esiko ya me wa ade bi wo me ho na watwi me ko program bi one of the journalists was say me na me politician na ubisa me question I was say me quote to Bible me kanya me asema ansama akade meka and I think say idea me so me friend no that is my calling me nu ase yakọ Proverbs 29 verse 2 a me pese me quotation we me ka mani wura obi ahum asema watchro ho ne say when the righteous increase the people rejoice but when the wicked rule the people groan say atenenefo edoso a nipa ni je na mom say otirimodinfo di ade a nipa si apini tenene ye eye say menua IMMA-ADIZA wo ye de etene wadwuma wudi wo de no kra nyamesuro obuo ahobrase eye wadwuma yes nye nipa nyina na beje watum nanso dodo na epe no kra no omo behunu se di udwuma wudi no kwan paso me as a politician se me de nyamesuro obuo ahobrase ene no kra eye me edi me dwuma nya obia na bepe obi wa okra me wa NDC no eye na hi keke enti de meka bia no say eye no kra nya no kra no nya de obefa but nipa dodo a enim no kra no emfa ho ne o party awo wo ka na so ohu se no kra na wo ka na onfa wo se eye NDC ni no kra na wa ka no na wo hwe de etoso mienu na o say so trimodifo edi ade a nipa esi apini hwe se ye mra bia mehunu se nyankopon asam ye nokra eye sa mre we mu wo bisam se de ntia Bible no ma meti ase se otirimodinfo di ade a omo ehye na se no omo si apini and because ne nuoma oye bia nkoyie mahunu se onyame asam ye nokra na sa asam we abamu ye mre we mu say you can omo edi ade a nipa dodo na behwe the presidency that is the highest but ya busua ye wom si ye yi abusua panyini ana ye yi ohini bi ya dwuma ye wom ya hwehwe de obedi yanim a manager director supervisor na ye yi nipa otene na mom ye yi nipa ni tirimu odin a obedi yanim a ne hyehyɛ ya ade e bema ye nyina ya bre oman Ghana metumi aka se wona to aba 2016 ama MPP Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wona 2020 eto aba sa wo hwe ade bi a 2016 vote Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo o mampanyini nyaaye 2020 esoteye by 500,000. Near woman say 1 or 2 2016 no dodo na entro MPP na do danko Akufo-Addo mampanyini Baumia Tanachi entro mu twaye na aya dia amanfo ka say yen so mo hwe na do ankasa oye ne campaign no na nsem oka mo nso menhwe Ghana fo bi agi tumu ampa mu koso no hwe na omu ne first half aye 2016 about 2020 no nipa over 500,000 na ekotu tia no anto amani biom no ehu se papa no ne Ghana fo andi ne ye akwan nyina so papa no ne Ghana fo andi ne ye adwuma osheda eba ye begu no oni ni nua kenoforiata na nya Ghana fo nwanwa se ye de Ghana ebe she omampanyini na nado dankwa Akufo-Addo ensa no yi ni ministers na odi ni nua na busuani na odi Ghana sika nyina she ne nsa ye mududu ase na ye bie ye dwuma ye de ye sika sem no ebe she ye busuafo nsa ne sadie we ye ne se ebetumi aba se ubusuani no obedi nokra nanso ayedan a emfomso bi ba sa wo ye wadwen sa wo ka abusuapanyini betutu ne ntoma aba obeka se enka sa ubusuani ni wia adwuma ne mu sika wo kwaka obeka se mo begu abusuani nyina anim ase because wo nua ya awi wo kwaka aye abusuanu na wugu na anim ase enti brofo kasem ya wade bi a yefra no nepotism eba mamuo mu a esai wa adwuma no anu na dodanko Akufo-Addo mampanyini aye wo hwa ono nko ani omampanyini a waba Ghana ya bakose mu a na busuafo bebre over 50 ewo na mamuo no ono ankasa ya appointment wa chana appointment ama ne yemu bakura mpo anya bi oba oni ne wo ye metumi aka mpanyifo mu animu anempena ne de edada akura mpo wa man appointment nokra wo mu ne se enya dia ebua amamu because enya wabusua ejapade oman no enya wabusua ejapade oman no enya wa personal business enti na mebisa se ye mu dodo sen ana wo bebie wadwuma wo besoa ompenafo wonnamfo womma wunuanom ede agusa abusuanom ede agusa adwumanom wa Africa ha sei abrofo no okọ otukwan a omo adwuma mu wo behwe na ye generational business efri ne nanaso ne papa eno no abeteki over eye omo nhyehyeye no but Ghana nye obi abusua adwuma Ghana nye abusua bi adwuma enti na 4 years bi ayeto aba na e wo se yesesem a yesesem enti se wo bisa me se bronya no etisan a bronya way will go down in the history of Ghana ye bronya and some say is the worst ever because empanyifo say se kromu beye oda abranti ani ubotom se bronya no ebeye oda eye ubotom ye nyina ye nim noma bua ye den ewo mamu ha ene ensuo aye no ensuo kura ya tu enti say toto aban adwumafo akatua mu na omampanyina owo ho ono na akatua mu otumu 79% from 200 and something million and almost 500 million 400 and something million na mom aban adwumafo a eye ema wunya bi no the awode beto o market you ye 4%. Enti say we are buy adwumani na wakatua 1,000 cedis 40 cedis no de atoso ama. Enti say ne akukọ ani ye to no 30 cedis 35 cedis ye to akukọ baako 70 cedis 80 cedis 90 cedis na wakatua no ye to mu ye de 40 cedis na to so sa woje 1,000 cedis we ye dan to akukọ ni bi wo betua wo light bill wo betua water bill amofra no so omubro nyantade mpaboa ni nyina aka ho se one bi se January one to two no ma ye January be ye obosome tenten a menua bronya no enye ye ndi ni ye nyame de wa ma ato yen but sika ni kromu nti ukojomu amanfo anto ade manfo anto ade ene shows amanfo programs omo ye ko amachi dede ye ko lumba ye ko shatawale ni sa Stoneboy programs no chese wo ye no abonte ye free na sa wo beji sika de a wo obeto nyum na wasa enti bronya na nkoyi minua
mate ende bronya no ankoyi na chese dodo na ene ebe ya adwen fi se dodo na ehyefi a o man ko be bia nti sede economy no kra waka ensem ni nyina awie dada na
menkawie mi wo bebre
yase no yehu se o bebre ka ene afa cha ne na to aso
ande
ame
wo bisa wo nsem no na me de keka ho
aha mate na chese afiwei se pe de ye kodwom ye koteye ene dwadifo ma eka e wo trotrom ene wo ma ye hiehyia wo ne wo ma ye koto wo so edwom ye bisa wo no o se anka afibia kodwom a wo bisa obisa oh afiwei ye twade o so last year de twade pa patene no ukodwom na bisa mo se oh afiwei somebody afibia mo se maame afiwei eye west we yen fanka ho yen fan nye comparison anam se na se dwadifo ma de bia moka afibia mo ba mo se oh afira sei ye to ade afi besan so mo se ye to ade iti no minim se ye mo national anthem a mo ka ne dada iti afiwei ekose o mo se afiwei de enkoyie kra nam se oh na se 2019 ekoyie echen 2020 ana meboa ana omo se ye no kre nanso so no afiwei de eye dutwam ebi nsida ana me se ne mo nkyerem omo se o niema no eguho eguwa obia ebehu a wobesre se me beto obo na no wadane no ho na me se ti ne nkrofo andi bronya se drinks ni biscuits ni mo ne ade ada se ne guwo no ye twen se bia next year ye nyankopon de enkwache yen ana enkrofo aba beto se bia omudi di new year na enye saade abronya de ye de awie na so sales no enye papa bia sa nti kire se commodities ne can say perishable goods ni nyina no ne boa ye den ye ntimi nto niema wo ho enso ye ntimi ento nti na che se bronya no ye wia ne sa ye wie aka omo sei omo twen se new year beba ne ahwe se nyankopon ebedom wo mo ama enkrofo abedi new year ne dia nti se new year ne so feli dia na che se enya anye ye de ne ho abagimu a enesa nti no prices of commodity ni ade no
yes me ye dwadini na empempi no abeye bibi e da ho se wo bronya ba na se wo kodwom ni ebisa na bronya we no ma ekosai adwadifo se oh afi we di anya kra last year na ye afi we di anya kra last year na ye anu nti ama afi we se ne ensi ankoyi no wo ka ebinum ese oh adwadifo de sa ma diza yenhwa de bi MPP ewo opposition Dr. Mahmoud Baumia o se onya omampanyina obedi aya de bi oka kasa bi o se if the fundamentals are weak the exchange rate will expose you they no pa kire ne se wonhihye bi nkoyi a eba no ye cedi ane dollar cedi pound ne amine dodo no musika no ensesaye no ebe da wadi ama obi a ehunu Ghana for bebre ejitu mu because na John Dramani Mahama ne o samre no NDC for 8 years Professor Mills ebefa cedi to dollar no $1 to 1.2 cedis. Now for the past 8 years, John Dramani Mahama Ekono, near Koya NSA, John Mahama Ekono, Ojano 4.17. 4.17. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say, Mahama is incompetent. Mahama Mills, 8 years. The abeda so enru 3 cities. The abeda so enru 3 cities. Young fan say roughly 3 cities. Some reno say na ukra cities na ukope $1,000. U here 4,170 cities. Young fan say 4,200. Na wenya $1,000. And the competent Baumia and in another Danko Kufuado Nikano for Riata in 5 years. And a dollar no aye 6.4 cities in 5 years. So the Abaka hono ye 2.2. What they call in city terms na for the same $1,000. Which means 2,200 and abada that 4,200 under John Dramani Mahama also in 5 years. Enti and nessa who costs $1,000 who here 6,400 for the same $1,000. Yet your maimuha nanado danko ekufuado omampanyini kachre say obeyi o maino from the Gettysburg economy no to production. And also to us say from taxation to production. Young fun one another. The Gettysburg economy near say Tambia Yamaya Husua near Kranoma Bibia ye bia de ye dia duane semana de dikitri se de di ti yanta dia yeshe empabua bibia wa ye hu bia empakura ye daso yakra omanya ekra bibia no na dia odekọ amanone no se dia yakra no edoso se dia dekọ amanone a the pressure eba ye cedi ye dollar kakra na ye nya no so enti o mampanyine na nado ka se John Dramani Mahama ene Ata Mills NDC de yabon enti ono de oba ye bebie ndwuma bibia ye beye bia no ye yankra no ma bebre ene oba ye ono ankasa oyare a o mampanyine na nado danko akufado oyare a no wa charter plane wa jai de oman no ato no e de asi ho no wa sanso atiska no wa charter plane no de ko UK mamu no akosa no ho yade one or charter plane na or de Sika foreign exchange na dibetuya. Every hour otuya almost 1,500 pounds. 15,000 pounds. 1 hour biya. And say yamfa say at the 6 hours in ebekwa. Nya 6 hours in nkwa. 6 hours in ebedi no wiem. Aba obesi ha say ya ebetwa no. Okra ya efiri amanone eba awesa efiri ho empty ede befa na de konyina wona wo betua enti sa noma we nyina ye noma ede pressure eba ye sidi no so de to so mienu o say obeyi efiri taxation to production ni nyina ye sidi ni dollar no ho de asem na me kan yo so o ka say aban bi baaye ono ni bibia eto empanyinfo meka eto eye tax ho asem na meka nye eto fufuo bia ni ewom ne se eman wan fa bia nya seria pressure na beku afi obaaye eto kase ena odi ku oman afi de petrol na John Dramani Mahama wo ho yato 1 gallon 14.5 15 cedis 16 cedis na Ghana for say omunti bida and na Ghana for to 1 gallon 31 cedis osha almost 16 cedis and abeto 1 gallon bia so in 5 years enti sanoma we nyina ya ade a ade ohaw bebre abeto Ghana for so enti ananyame ya wadom adwuma no eho ade yes we be say omo say covid covid enti meka say covid a eyenumi ema mansan nyina no me in the sense say abusua bi wo ho a minim nipa miensa abusua ba ko covid akuomo aku papa aku oyire aku obaba aku aka ho minim abusua bi omo ye enuanom mienu papa ne mama mienu ba ko ye assemblyman ba ko ye medical doctor no enya covid ewo na adwumam menkai abusuafo yaw ana ni nua assemblyman no ene kohwe no omo ye mrantie omo nware ono na kohwe ni nua no ehya ase no no onim say covid oh ni nua doctor no covid ni ku no ni nua assemblyman na waka no enso ye meyare boso mienu ono nso awu ye kohwe ono nso covid aku enuanu mienu no ena ka papa no nko a enti se abusua no omonte covid aye no me eye ntam kase eye de awreho na bre omo menka omo yaw minim se makai omo ehwe me ebinim awa asante mam ha omo nim story no but MPP abanya na nado danko akufu ado ne ba umia ne ken oforiata ada no eye nhira ma omo ubisa mi a se de enti na covid eye nhira ma omo a omo de covid eye campaign pa enti 2020 omo no omo checheye omo nhihye omo yeye even lockdown omo de ba Greater Accra ene Greater Kumasi ni nyina bibia it was politics for them aduane omo cheye aduane basa omo cheye omo say omo boka 54 million cedis in 3 days for nipa kuma bi omo aduane basa no omo nam covid ho e de ko IMF ekoje dollars bebre $1 billion omo nam covid so omo mpanyi John Dramani Mahama omo se one mobra sika sinking fund pegu ho stabilization fund digu ho se enchirima no omo de omo nsa akobubom edi sika ni nyina covid ene Ubisa omo say edi enti na hospitals omuntumi nsibi. Minua Ghana fo ehwe me omampanyini Kufuado na ye president ne first term 4 years when see hospital bia e Ghana ha. When see hospital or COVID by or beka kire say obesi hospitals 88 and then ye wura 2 years money on see one, not a single hospital. And the COVID omo eku omo bro 1,300 hospitals are abua in the fight of COVID. Hospitals are John Dramani Mahama Esiya Range Hospital Onuankasa Omwa ministers MPP ministers health minister nya COVID educational minister then and now energy minister Matthew Opoku Prempe enya COVID omu ministers bebre nya COVID baby amukoji ayarehwe John Dramani Mahama omose wa mbobra ne hospital osi bank hospital hospitals osi enkramamu ana nyame adom ahwe ye ministers yi omo ewuye Sir John nyame emfa ne kransie ono nso ekoji ayarehwe John Dramani Mahama hospital nyame emfa ne kransie wantumi amba bi enti enhira COVID aye enhira ma MPP aban pa uka kire ne se wa mbobra bosie bo bebre over 220 billion asema obeka kire say COVID but yenhwe omamu ha government payroll no omo eye adwuma aban tu omo ka direct aye 650,000 enti ye mudodo na aye adwuma no aye adwuma ye ne yedi yedwa enti se dollar no ekosoro a ye kra no ma ba no se wo hia $1,000 a e wo se wo pe ene wo hia 6,400 na wo de nya $1,000 wo de no ma no so ba na wo bedru tama habo ene ye habo sa kana omo de etuo bebre mungunai ene etuo ni bi kura din de COVID-19 tax omampanyine Kufuado ana ode yade ajetuo na ode yade etuo so ema ne mindful yenda nsori a etuo bebre omaje bosia bebre awabo ni nyina mu no ose ode foforo bi isa beka hu sawo asem bi bisa wo betumi abisa ensam no bebre ana waya no but I was say a year in Kitahudi
Mate. Inti maybe say a question we say ye bet me asa blame niama bebre wa COVID-19 mu ana if say NDC mbreno Ebola so ebaye na global financial crisis ni e breakdown no FSO no mu a enkroma no mo ne saa ne no Ebola neba ye no etimi be ma time ana JM woso no ma financial problem bi ewo eman mu ana fi say kamia ese COVID ne die abai we die di bronya saa me ne kra no wasa tutututu ye kan say beaches bebremu essay because of COVID kroya because say onyeska inti no ama force bia memu a ye COVID pen e behu ne mobo amanenyeska from the outside world inti no wasa aka ne ho bie mama minister kra say wa nye vaccinated no public offices ni bi wuntimi nram nana eno no asasam na minister ne kan ye na anya bia ye nyina ye tikumase ya wakokumase dwom se kumase dwom fo ma na omo nose mask ne kro omo nhye esu ye nko hunu se obituary bobo kejeti ase ebi mawu inti dia ya na omo kana me to me no me when they say COVID be our home. If he say me kodwom you who say bibi bo hot say sa so me aye me wa so kedwom ame pacho brem
metumi aka say COVID no de yade e wo ho because me a minimum ebe me pa enya bi minimum ebe me a enam sa yade we su no omo afim nti meka say COVID no wo ba de ba ko a me hu no say Nyankopon ensa wo man Ghana so sani a wo ka se ye kodwomu a de ye hu no udru ye dwa no mu a ase a different world kra ase yade COVID no eni ho enti yere yete o man no mu no say yanye ye ntutu ye yi a aban befa ho edi bronya saa over the past month nanka numbers no from kakra but wo hwa say numbers na san so pagya no mu say yan nipa no yanye ye ntutu ye na yema yetena ho in this few days ahead omo the numbers no Ghana Health Service the numbers no beba ebeyehu enti mama yemma aban we kwan na omo mfa bronya ho enwi biscuit omo senior already omo the COVID no
efidie no asa bunimu a aye still ntino obesen remu ata kakra efidie na ate ne ko eye network no sede me maka so ne chese eho no network no eni amano nti ebe twen ne ahwese obetimi awremu amaya nti me kohwe obi oye available na mede no aba abeka eho na mahwe na wabe can be ato aso chese ye kodwom a aban restriction trotrum omummo nose masks ukodwam ti said ye meka to say kejetia close place e was say anka emai omu nse nose mask yo and so still yes COVID wo inti na me ntimi nyin tum no fi say me kodwomu a lot me fro trotro esoso ntiminim de eko ana yeso ya sante amamre anasa asante ana Ghana amamre no obia ewu a ana bibi ye no a ye bo amane ye wonya accident a ye beka na uti na ye wo ya ye beka enso ukwa yi a ye normal ewu ye bi enya accident ye we inti no sa aban no enye sika bi na ope di na ono are restricted ne ho say or they call government institutions which hokra na nkrofo bebre ntan ko market women no ho na nipa ne do so ntino so restriction ho na wo so de ko na yen mu bi no a yenyi bibi ni no yehunu say say ana eko ntino uncle Ben enya abaidie na di onim fa ho na say wo wa ha say wa be di bronya wo aha fefefe ntino dia na Christmas ne koma o ne koyi ana ase nkoyi sa
Madiza mpacha ote mingade
e pacha meto nkapa
me dasi mi ma afisha pasu
afen komete yen
me dasi me chia etiefo ni adofo no nyina na evangelist ye beda na si se wabe maye inchechemu bebre na it's unfortunate say say na homa no atiako but bebia odru ya say which has to do with COVID-19 Let me say the woo cano a woman say me buy no me call around town. It looks as if say it is business as usual. But in the real sense of the word, no, people should be very cautious. Say yare no real. Idea a war. Say you see a share the amount for no in their day-to-day activities. Now you see the measure protocols I see and follower. I think say a KPABITEY. And the say ye who say as say a bomodian say yen na ye bebo ye hu ban. Na protocols e wo ho nyina no ya diso. Any say ye be share ye nose masks bia omo sanitizers ultimate ekita would call around town as you interact with people no womo na wa sanitizing won sani de ekeka nka ho yema wan kasa your immediate family, your community and the nation as a whole. Enti eno de say ye nyina we should take hygiene, personal hygiene in your mind. As I say, we carry it along. Maka eno on the part of the government. So I think say over the years, it has become crystal clear. Say, Abanye Tisui, they are using the COVID to enrich themselves. I don't think American way. One would have thought, say, with the advent of COVID, Sika Abba Omunsem, that we expect them to use it in fighting COVID. We are not seeing certain on the ground. Ebine saying, Omumayeti as say, IMF is no-go area. And yet, they want to have anything to do with IMF. But COVID no buy Abanye rush to the IMF to assess 1 billion rapid COVID facility from the IMF. So 1 billion yeti on pay accountability. I bet how that monies were disbursed. Apart from that, Omako World Bank so amount $100 million. In fact, they've been there on 2 occasions to assess 100 million, making it over $200 million. Sasikani na eden ene European Union, emaye sika getting to about $500 million. Ni nyina no so yanhu de omodi ye. They've gone to the African Development Bank. Omusu make available funds to fight COVID. Enu nyina echi no Omankasa set up a fund that they call the COVID Trust Fund. Sika aba efutu no nkrofo omai I donated to that fund. Individuals, civil societies, churches, whatever, Omunina donated into that fund just to fight COVID. What has happened to all those funds? It has not been properly accounted for. When Munina cheno, ye wo idea ye friend stabilization fund. Menuano or boss say President Mahama or more friend incompetent. That woman, he created the COVID fund, the stabilization fund. Oil proceeds, ye chemo be miensa. Na ye dibaku akotu for heritage fund, ye dibaku so akotu for stabilization fund. So our stabilization fund, a musika $217 million. In Crofoi afa COVID so, omudi afasa asike na. Now, Obibe Bisa said, Maji 1 billion from the IMF, Marco for Stabilization Fund, $217 million, Marco World Bank, European Union, Marco African Development Bank, and so on and so forth. The COVID Trust Fund. Mafasa Sikain na Mubi ya laws for government not to go into the revenues of the Bank of Ghana. For COVID inti, asset aside that laws na and have assessed 10 billion Ghana cedis from the Bank of Ghana. How have they disbursed this amount? For what purposes? Na enu nyina echi no ye feel say omubeye niyama ebe cushion Ghanaians from the effects of COVID. Rather, this is an insensitive government, or no, rather is introducing and imposing on already suffocating Ghanaians what they call the tax on COVID. COVID tax, omudi aba, esambeji timamufo sika. Enunko danchen COVID-19, omu peso ubia befa airport. Enunti, they left all their borders closed, even when other neighbors, the rest of the world, have opened their borders. What is the rationale behind leaving the land borders closed? Is to force people to fly into the country. And by flying into the country, all people who are Ghanaians or West Africans will have to pay $50 each as they arrive at the airport. Apart from that, people of other nationals will have to pay $150 for an antigen test. Now, Munche averagely across the globe, how much is being charged for antigen tests? There were two types of tests. There were antigen tests and there were PCR tests. In terms of quality and your friend is saying efficiency in Yamano, PCR test is higher. So it is supposed to be more expensive. Yet, Uko Amama they are not charging up to the amount we are seeing with regards to antigen tests, which is an inferior comparatively. Amama they have made it free to encourage people to test them more. Senebeya, Obiwo Bibia, we are able to detect it at early stage and start treatment. And see, the whole fight against COVID, it looks as if it is knee-jerk reaction. They say one thing and practice another. This is a government that will say, or fighting COVID. Everybody should not attend funeral. Yet, meanwhile, they are telling the rest of the country not to engage in any mass funeral and mass gatherings. And they have attended a lot of weddings in Nyama, yet they are asking people to close up on one breath. Say 20 Shatawali. Accra Sports Stadium was full. Yet the beaches are being asked to close down. Stone Boy, Numuni, Omuko ye were Elwak. Konokoshe Doma Ebaho. So if we want to tackle the issue, there should be law that will cut across. And yet laws are Obikoye na Soribina or Kita congregation of, let's say, 80 people in Yamane, but you see the president whining and dining and dancing among crowds in Nyama. All catcher among for say they shouldn't operate and they should close down. You find MPP conference. I course work Kumasi. And no crapos our conference no. A binumun say armed robbery a conference been a call. In fact, people were being encouraged to sleep without closing their doors in other parts of the country because so if you don't live within Ashanti region, you could sleep and leave your doors open. But when the conference was over, Almost now people can still lock their doors. One. So what we are saying invariably is say the point is say the COVID is real. If we want to tackle COVID, we want government to be serious. Say they practice what they preach. And now I catch say close beaches ni other bars ni nyamai. Bars in the countries are operating. But meanwhile, if a bar is situated along the beach, it is being asked to close. So what are we doing? Are we serious about, say, we are passing a law that will cut across? And now say we are just doing something to send a message out there that we are fighting COVID. Meanwhile, what we are doing, it is like 1 step forward, 3 steps backwards. Because Mintias here, you drive around town, you find all the bars bubbling, people are just trooping in. Meanwhile, Obia Onuni Banu is along the beach, So our resort, Kitwabia, is being asked to cease operation. And what we are saying is that they have gained so much of money when it comes to COVID. And one would have thought that COVID Sikana Abano, we should have seen more greater results than what we are witnessing today. They will go to sleep. You find even the president himself engaging in activities that defeats the purpose for which we are waging campaign against the COVID. On any appointees need the Kikanka. And recently, in the House of Parliament, what was happening? And Parliament in some a course, Obibe Bisase na who kosa. There is legal processor, yedia two I say you follow. But they will set aside the legal process, trying to push down the throat of Ghanaians an e-levy, which we are vehemently opposing. Now, of course, as to whether we are fighting COVID in that times, the spectacles are there for people to access on YouTube, Facebook, and what have you. And the IMMA-ADIZA in the nutshell, they say, in Crawford airport, Gigi Sasikano. How is it being accounted for? How did they even get your friend almost saying frontline health services to take up that contract? Because any contract that will, engage people from foreign, it has to go through Parliament. And we share a war, your constitution, Article 181 clause 5. Say, there are no qualms about that. But yet, we found these people being contracted, and Obibe Bisa said, process being no mufa more that qualify them to get to where they are today. Among for Bibe argue say, because we are in times of emergency, they could make a quick fix. That is understandable. And that is why in the wisdom of the framers of the Constitution, they made provisions, say in times like that, how you don't have the luxury of time to think through who should take whatever position. You will be your friend certificate of agency that you could apply. Under certificate of agency, Uber parliamentar, making sure say they even sit through midnight and everything to get it passed, because it is something that borders on emergency. Ben Crawford way, Nyama Omudiba Parliament for emergency has to do with a Japanese account. A Japan, you wonder why they are in such a rush. What do they want to achieve in a Japan that they rush? They want to rush everything. And all these things, are buying when it comes to transparency, Omo and can yes, frontiers here or more airport. We want transparent accountability of how they got that contractor. You work in Crawford, recognized in Ghana when it comes to such services. Nuguchi Memorial. COVID, they were in front fighting and testing and doing all sort of things. Eba no contract no yakohwehwe obi wo baby a yenim baby ofria how what plus what minus what even gave us that $150 no nobody is telling us enu echi no mudi COVID tasu asan be boy eni so mu wia momo kakra amanfo yeso mpese chese mehu every opportunity biano they want to amass wealth. And it is not amassing wealth for the development of the country. They are just amassing wealth for their party. Omankasa kase party no hiaska. Enti galamse kura no enukra party no hiaska. Obi from engaging in any galamse, whilst they allow their people to do galamse, to share the money among themselves. Their parties, they party functionaries and cronies and what have you. And see, IMMA-ADIZA, in the nutshell, this political party, Bompire say 3 years now, it looks as if Ghanaians cannot take it anymore. Because you see, Yanum in soon train ope. In sona ye nomna, ye pese Yanum cradi train ope. In Zonu crani hobby. They are not developing the country. This is a political party or market show say we are in the year of roots. Year no by a year, no show. Omasan recycle, Akache say we are in another year of roots. Oh, I drive around town and it is deplorable. Ashanti region put here, say, Omanga Sakura say, aka haye a stronghold na ye ka say mama krapo de enye but Ashanti region mama mreso at least kanenu ubelandi wo airport untimi nko Kumasi airport in the night ye ba no we made it possible for flights to fly into Ashanti region in the night enu na ye ko commission ya your friend is saying Otikokosu Otumfo Obaya Woni President Mama Numina, they came and commissioned it for fair, they celebrated it. Almost celebrated yepe and Yumba Kwa Yebo and Yamama Kran and see Omumbo live band Ankasa Nebo Yen Tiubia almost Musa Bino. Yesi Mama see one what they want Tiubia. Meanwhile, and Yumuno and no composi on your no 2 years. Obina to be a year born or a year say I want to serve. Hospitals are why Farinina has been left to rot. Look at somebody who is selfless. One can say with the project air come room. Share the why year their tour at KJT market. Water projects are why Ashanti region. Ye full say President Nanado Eko or two Otikokosu in chain now or Kakochiano. One would have thought, say, Obeba, with the track record he has in the Ashanti region. Obejina hoa Alani Onusupe president Eddie, we ni Onususo already president. We will nanani and Bibi Basa. We are talking about serious business here. Alani as a trade minister, no, Otikokosu warned him that if he is harboring ambitions, they have not opened, a friend is saying, nominations are for him to officially say so. So why do you stand in front of the big king to, announce all these things, which are very highly unnecessary? What the chief wants to hear, and he said, oh, Region Amabai, I'm going to commission ABCD. I have done ABCD. He was not able to say anything. Kumasi Shoe Factory, President Mahama revamped it. And ye wonyama bibria in the Ashanti region see a car. Omwankasa Beka said, this is our homeland. And I say, your friend is saying stronghold. But then when it comes to the deliveries, we are way above them. And a buying way, ye catch almost say, apart from even Sika or Manyano, ye pese omumbra na yenye head to head in terms of development. Anyama be mienu pe en omukita. One is an excuse and one has to do with free SHS. The excuse has to do with COVID. Now COVID na kasano use trajectory no, you come to realize that omu debt levels no a car yedino over the years no, all the credit rating agencies no have constantly raised the red flags on Ghana. Say the way we are going no, it is going to have effect, big effect on our economy. Effect no abe blue or no, they are blaming COVID. Long before COVID came, it has nothing to do with COVID. In fact, even with the COVID, you should be very thankful because it's the COVID that gave you the space, the fiscal space to go and access the IMF loan, the NIE, the Kika account. So, in terms of delivery, these people have failed and have failed.
What the one who see amiaba final way in a son.
Yeah, maybe Manon say no. Look, Obian here opinion pools biya. Upe opinion poosa. Mpacho udie ko. Atonso market die ya me study abroad pa. Udru atonso market bisa obia. Ubisa obia se mpacho nyama ko yana wa brabo mutiseng. These are the real opinion polls, the best opinion polls you can get. Something that you hear is from the horse's own mouth. Na me pese ye be your opinion polls na ma obianko any place around Volta region in Yama, be in the Ashanti region, where we say this is the stronghold of the opposition. Na bisa womu se nyama akoyia school mu etisen omu kwan etisen omu asitena mu omu abrabom, the cost of living, the cost of doing business. And listen to Udioko Swame magazine. Upa Udru Monaco Junction. Stati say Monaco Junction Asukwa constituency na interview omu eba bisa obia se koyia you will get a measure of how the economy is faring. And yen na ye beka say economy nko ya na say bibi na obi aka say o NDC for no omo person omugu aban ho fi. Meanwhile, ukoka another excuse omo kitani say omo see free SHS. IMMA-ADIZA free SHS from its implementation up to date no, we have spent close to 8 billion Ghana cedis. And through 8 billion is over 7 billion. And funny say we round it out to be 8 billion Ghana cedis. And the 8 billion Ghana cedis, T-free sinking fund wabetum, stabilization fund wabenya, chese fund bebrea President Mahama wa created yato wabe assessing. Uti free moi, there is so much for you to do. In fact, Baumia is on record to have said, then President Mahama has borrowed $33 billion. That's $33 billion. What Nyama or no Omua Baima Omudibeye. Thousands kilometers of roads. Over 600 of the E-blocks are Mahama or Musi 200. They will build over 600 of them. They will build a lot of hospitals, cheap compounds, polyclinics. They will do all water projects. They will do whatever. And no NOKWARE cannot be better. This is Dr. Baumia speaking. Meanwhile, you ask yourself, say, how much have they borrowed and what do they have to show for? 350 schools now, So one who back one watch me constituency and I said district ewo na me so me nkwohwe bi. Hospitals no ni nyina koye promises.
It's in the pipeline.
Pipeline no April 2020 and our president Nana Akufo-Addo Ekache said he was going to build 88 new hospitals. And on my timelines, timelines no abepa ho. Not even one has been commissioned. Now, these are only the area who call Labadi in Accra. Not Omuo La General Hospital. La General Hospital, no, a building a siwa a challenges and problems. But at least Anyefi Ukrano, a treaty malaria, ni fever, ni diarrhea, ni niyama kiti, at least people were making good use of it. MPP are buying by him. Omusi La General Hospital is not fit for purpose. And therefore, they are coming to construct a new ultramodern hospital at their mom. Yam provide you with any alternative. Ubeye we are a good idea, but provide them with alternative or mbe assessi whilst this construction goes on. There be yanye bibisa, and one say they move bulldozers to the place, destroyed everything. Now, even as we speak, Omunle anything for the people of La and its environs. Hospital, no, ya say no. Meanwhile, they have not provided anything for the people of La. Shama, the same thing. Omabeye fanfare, a grand deba, and told people of Shama that they were coming to build them a new hospital. What has happened there? A very proper say, every time, journalists will follow up on the promises of these people. These are people, 2020 elections, the people of Cape Coast, we have good news for you. And what is this good news? Obviously, the people of Cape Coast are going to get harbor and they are going to get airport. Only for the president to come and say, Debbie, yan can be biya. So even what is in their own manifesto, no, they are not abreast with it, let alone put it on the front burner and say, this is our priority. We have promised the people A, B, C, D, and that is a social contract. And say, see, the last thing I'm saying, yeah, maybe Manu say no. Since I landed in Accra, I wanted to see, say, President Nana Akufo-Addo promises, say, by the end of his 4-year term, Accra was going to be the cleanest city in Africa. So promise, no, 4-year term, no, he has now gone even into his second term. I drove around Accra, IMMA-ADIZA. I can tell you for a fact, Accra is not the cleanest city in Africa. It is not the cleanest city in West Africa. It is not the cleanest city even in Ghana. Now, one ya bibi amawasi a obonu krono. Promise yi one disu. Uye yeswa wasan kofa bola tax. Edi abetu Ghana so. Na tax na ye kwa kotiano. Edi no ejuma no mudikoye. Omunko this as kanu for nothing. And this is a government that says one thing and promises one thing and does another thing. And we need to take them serious. What we have to do is to put our acts together and ensure, say, 2024, we kick them out of office, put them where they belong, which is the forest. That is a place meant for the elephant, and allow people with vision, with clear conscience, with tenacity of purpose to lead this country, as we seen under John Dramani Mahama, the nation's builder. And on that note, Memo Okwaina Ebia will go into the next phase.
Mate, medase pa nyami shra intino. Your last question, and I said we no. Say media no. Anchor also come your fourth arm of government no. Oma koma no atum. Obia enkasa mfa niema boni a ekoso wo aban mu ene Ghana man mu. Emma asofo a na omo ye loud mouth during JM's time ni nyina omo nyina ka oma no atum. Emma media no omo a nipa maako mienu miensa bi a omo timi eka di aban ne ye na enye no ubonsi ye di omo adwuma kra ye den threaten omo. Example ye Bridget Otua na oye adwuma o TV3 eno ni ntini ye yi na di efi se okoka asem bi no fu se di aban ne ye ne nya okoka ye yi na di ene ye dasa kosori ebo piti sorry ya TV3 presenter baako ono so sesei ni tiri keka wo adwuma wo mu sesei chese ono mekaya ye hwe video bi a eba ekoso wo social media se sa adwoma ama time no obo na chi papa obo na chi ye na nkrofo fa omo ho edi wo JM's time pa chede say ye hwe teacher kwajoa wobo na chi ye now see anya na hwe Manase Azuri ye tria ne kama ne ka se wa kofa and confirm na to Kobokina no enne wono a ye de bi ahye ne honam ama na hunu say yes on ma ye ti bibi say yes a confirm to sa omo nyina ye bobo omo pa ebi say utie teacher kwadwo asam o ka say na omani mie ba se say de omani ate na chese de na circulate wo social media say ye tria bi mu ka say omungu JM administration no ehun fi no enne no omo nyina omo so omo adwene abafie efi so omo hunu say obi di oka na asam a ye nya ohwe na emom Nyankopon ye fra bibi divine punishment ubenya ti me hwe a omo nyina nya divine punishment ni bi egu so you can't eat your cake and have it said the broni kan ye no ntino obi abenya ne so akatua efi se kwan ya omode omanpanini dada Jomahama fa so no enne mu amudie mu a mukoka na ntoma anase twede ehye ntoma mu oye ya wuyi wan wanimu ane ye de abo wan so se panyan ti amase sei omo timi kasa ne ye kakra bi ne ye hwe so a omo ano omo kasa kese no omo ye din fi se ayo omo board of directors na enche ana Abeku Santana eko interview Kwame Sefa kan o se Kwame die na ekoso man mu a aban de ekoyi ene ne ma ekoso no efe ka bibi fa ho se o aban na twia nkrofo bi ka ese ombe defende o mo se na wankasa wasetena no emu no soso no o hwe se ne ma ekosen ama eye Kwame Sefa kan se bie na no ka se o kan sam de ahye na no ne ye hwe so Kwame Sefa kan so ya ne board of bibi ya ma na dwuma aban ya ma na dwuma ntino ontimi nkasa na no na ka atum te said de sebi wode ye ka ne sen guru aso na no a ne nyansa ne nyina ye den etukwan memi hu ne say sesei no anyansafo ne nyina nyansa etukwan anda ye fe ne say Kufuado intino na JM wo ho ne de no mu nyansa ne wo eben wo mu sesei intelligent warriors ne nyina enye adwuma bi inti die na aka fa wo especially sa TV3 presenter ya ne die aba edwaso a ne die ne wo so ya eye current no
Madiza, say abrofo will be a more friend of historical antecedents. Any saying, Ubeshe bebia MPP for or more freer or more bedroom baby or more CCI. People who attest to the fact say MPP for even in opposition. A drew maybe or move nya adwin say presenter biano should sing their praises, should read from their dictates. Na Obibe Kaya Asempa FM ekosi sen those days no na Bobby answer and a war. It took the MPP machinery no, led by Anthony Kabunum to storm that station and ensure say they uprooted Bobby Ansa from that show. Now, the area woman say you find the managers of that media houses no, kotoing to the pressures of the MPP. So omu the pressure to omuswa they sort of giving omu yi Bobby a free program no so. Ehona omu kofa kaba wanyani baby ko. You see, and it is because they think that every journalist must, do what they like. So we obia, you are a critic of the MPP, and I say Omar Bain, and I say Muni Bia. And when they blackmail you, they undermine you, and when they undermine you, they ensure they bring you down and take you off air. Oma yes anyama no bebre. Enti when one or mufa one or mudibe G abain. Omnibe G abain pe. We all saw how they moved in to close down certain radio stations that they think will be a voice for the voiceless, will be critical of their governance. Until the Ombeyeni say they move in, find certain ridiculous reasons to close some of these stations down. Now,
Uncle Ben, me pachoya mauchi ne no sumaye wai.
Chino de papa o me say uko the say Ashtown. Uko Ashtown, Menshia, Asupwa, Amokum, Ahibubuano, Mimi Diabro Honina. Me teacher na say me into Abanisa. Yeah. And the Mariza. Dear woman is a
yes.
Yeah, dear woman is a Omuba Omugu radio stations in Omugu radio stations one Omufu say Omu fa communist status. Yekoka no mashe dasi enye SYZ and I say radio good. Pe ena omu close ye. Mi pacho someone him say Yesu ye born assembliam. Na ye born assemblia no enye onu nkwana owo cross no so. Uhwe bebia omu kum Yesu no a. Obon se nkrofo mienu bi so ka ho. Entu ko bisa Roman soldiers no mbeka cho se enye Yesu pe ena ye kum no. Ye kum nkrofo bi ka omu ho. But the target omu kita omu real target. And that target has to do with, say, Yebegu Radio Good and Radio SYZ and other NDC affiliated radio stations. Na ya fufa baku mienu bi akikanka una ye afra. But you see, the whole thing no akoye say journalists who were very vocal. Nyama omuka fa mama hu. Ukoshe the your friend is saying the gravity in some abaya or more criticizing mama. No. Take for example, bus branding. Who offer bus branding? Bus branding, yeah, you blow this issue. It was investigated. Obia and Claire Obia, omo make sure say in Crofonus smarties are yenye omo contract no. After revaluation, no, balance akano, they make sure say they refund it back to the government chest. The minister involved, no, omo make sure say she was kicked out of office. So you find action being taken. Say Asemba. Abuga Pele is another example. Jidan Huns and Semini Asofoton ni Sanyamaniam Sang Asemi Nina were allowed to be investigated, taken through the process of court. Ena Ebewiasienu, se court no cancer enko nifa, ye make sure say nifa be juma. Se enko binkuma sa netie. Enenu eden na yehu. Ushe bust contaminated oil by now udikof share the quantum of sika a womb as compared to Yanfani say bus branding. Ubon say bus branding no the chicken change bibia sometimes kura ukoto adiena aka balance na osefa eno na yedi be compare hu ukoshe excavators a ayira na wo share over 500 excavators and put Yanfani say gold ni niama omu sizi ye sika omu sizi ye free amount for which has not been accounted for. And yet a small scandal. Cash for seat, no. PDS for over 6 months, no, not omuji electricity bills. And now I know say all those bills are omuji has not been accounted for. And when yes, he shared the quantum of corruption, of course, under this abine. And people were very critical of Mama. Omo criticizing no say new corruption no e been bad. MPP Fuankasa aka say this man is so corrupt. He's so nepotistic. Actually say ono no wafa ni family members etu na abamu just because wafa Joyce Mutar Bauer. One person per Amanu deputy minister, not even a substantive minister. They have done worse things. In fact, they have broken world record. Because I have always dared the MPP. Say, Omumbe Chiremi, Omanya, Yanya, Presidenta, the families, doesn't change what we are seeing under Nana Akufo-Addo. Enti, Nyama Bibria, all these journalists, Omu shouty, Omu ye, Yankochi Obia. Share the Atu Ameswali was another signal to send to the people, say, look, we will come after you if you are critical of us. Manasseh Azuri, Ono Enoko investigative PPA. Enusu eden etunu. Wawie yenusu oko osu castle ho eko hun say as at the time we are being told say Oma Bandi vigilante, there was training exercise and recruitment exercise that was going on, and at a government facility, the Christianborg Castle, Osu Castle. Omu say there be wakoye PPA wakoye Christianborg ono mustati se omu tata. A friend is saying foundation under Suleiman Ibrahim omuna omu protectees aga omu Manasseh Azuri ednoko South Africa need the can just for him to cool off and to find some protection. And a lot of the media houses and the journalists has either been silenced, been bought, or Akobani say they have succeeded in instilling some fear in them that if you are critical of us, no, we will come at you. And I say, you be blacklisted with station, no, you blacklisted with station now. Ebema will be down. And that is what they are doing with Hughes. Hughes, no, was sorry say the ill in society, no, he's speaking to those things. Nyama enkoso ye, efa buying hu, any a buying nyama bi, any programs, ni nyama work chronom, se enko ye, he brings it to the fore. And he says it, waka, he doesn't fear, and he says it, and that is what journalism is all about. To be fearless and very firm. Now, Enuna, I think, say, Abayin is feeling very, very uncomfortable. Say, in Crawford, say, or no, Captain Smarta, Nanka, or no, Ankasa, say, or ni omu, ne Bokusi Atafri, back in the days, no. Or no, so, Cecilia, he's highly critical of the government. And an Nansanyano, Omu Akotamno, Edna Konima police station. Senebeya, they will be able to tame him. And sometimes Omu take action now. It is not only directed at Nipana Omakofano Nungwang. It is to send a message out there to the rest of Munuma Muya Century for Adiza also come. Senebeya Mube come on earth. Muhu bibi kura muntiminka. Uko schools be brave, free SHS ya unse omuye. Problems womu ni school feeding ni de kika. Problems womu share headmasters omuntiminka sa. Omudi curriculum ni nyama biaba textbooks kurano eni ho. Na unim na uko piewanu eko kan se textbooks ni ho a yedi bechere ya. Either you are sacked or you are given the transfer to a location Wankasa Ukra Empe. So this is the situation in which we find ourselves. They are ruling by, making sure say people are afraid to criticize them. But when you see upamu hunfua uhuni bema. Ana nyesa na mukano ultimi pamu bisa bedru baby no obe turning around now wa face you, and that is what is happening. Afi de amanfo abre wo mu pa amudi munku ye preko won fix the country for ye make sure say ye intimidate wo mu sa ye frustrate wo mu won. And this is the situation ye finding ourselves in. A month for our women said Canino, Mama Mresono, they were highly vocal. The big kitty be no mappy, Nyansam Fue Mohi, and then Nyansafono Abefa Abaino. Now see what is happening. It is happening in worst form. Would there anything now would say would be associated with Mama? Would there can you see what is worse under this administration? Anything you can think of, you see it worse. In fact, Omukachere say Mama Krapo there, a Mary Wakwako Bugana for Bukata, a deal that involved $510 million. Omusi Omukwako renegotiation. Omuba Omufa Philip Addison, any entourage call Dubai say Omukwako investigation. At the end of those investigations, there has not been any report, no white paper, nothing. A baby has here, Omusi renegotiation. In fact, they ended up short-chaining Ghanaians to the tune of $800 million more. Yechi womono, President Nubekache said, I was misled. Misled by who? Anka ye vigilance. Anka $800 million call bibotum free of charge. So nyama omwa kisu mama of doing, engaging in whatever corruption in nyama nyina, it has come to the fore say when nyina ye in draw. Share ene ye wo flight I see ho look at what is happening. President Soria now akofa the private jet. In fact, private jet you cry been speculate say ya talk rather. Ya talk is it or mine dear and I say a president no personally no to here. We are not being told. Who could bisa where was he bisa way? Who bisa where was he bisa way? So they are not even transparent in their governance. Yet omuno ombeba be tina ho aka kire say your mom reso and right to information was passed. But right to information, you see, right to information, Ghanaians have the right to all information. And that is what we call transparent governance. And to pay information here, and yet, after Kenoforiata Beka Chose Kobisa defense minister Beka Chose Kobisa security minister Beka Chose Ombeto Su say no mankasa fa another scandal. Jabe pipa scandal a war than. That is how we are being ruled now. Scandal upon scandal. Omudi scandal no by kane envia no mudi bakun as ambeshim. Then they change the narrative. IMMA-ADIZA the woman no. There were assembly proper when it comes to MPP governance.
Intino obe bo netofa my review of summer SCC from January ebepem December imu abonetofa ama etiefo eso enye bi etie bi ohon mesi mekai ba kwa na e popular pa yeyi speaker right honorable Abansumane Babin no entokwasi pa ma blows ne ebi mu dane abrechire mu nyina ewewe ballot ye kan say papers nyina of parliament no ya ade a ye refida eye Carlos Tahinkra ni din epie mu MPU timere paper minimum ntasuo mene se beko gold ye nkokọ na owie ane aboye nsema ma ne abona baso MP a otimi ewo covid a otimi ko public ye nye ne hwe na ware enwura ana paper soso e dia support eno ya ade ewo Ghana for etirimu papa intino dia osu hunu ye na waka ama etiefo adofo enya bi etie.
Yeah, IMMA-ADIZA ampa I feel shasi no na ya ko abatuo ewi abatuo ya ko for the first time in our history yanya amanfo be 8 o mashuro munkwa up to an amino kasei government has not been forthcoming any commitment say ye be nhwehwemu ahwe the cost of these people's death. In fact, President Nankasa Accra said some few people died. As if say lives of those 8 people no be insignificant. And Joe Sube can say enye bibia necessary government ebe kan ho asem ne fa hin kosi hin. So even if armed robber is killed, should government come equating innocent people omunye hwia ya botu akum just because of elections. Elections are yenyina ya hu say for the first time in our history no ya elections are results has been changing figures. Yehu election results are yabo ochina yesi ye correction ochina echi yesi ye the new one ba yesan be amendi chese na change ya kopim Supreme Court no de enusu ebamu de woman ni say ye ko wie ye no say ye nya Speaker of Parliament. Now as at that time Speaker of Parliament nanka owo ho no Michael Kwe Jr. Nanka ono na otiso na ɔmo sandi no ɛɛba ɛna NDC so ɛdi babi ɛɛba so divided parliament no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛkɔto so aba nti yɛto so aba no ɛkɔba ne sɛ yɛato aba no awie ɔmo akan ɛyi Michael Kuedia ɔmo sort out ayɛ sorting ne nyinaa nti Michael Kuedia wɔ ha weesu deɛ wɔ ha ɔmo yɛ sorting ne nyinaa no ɔmo bɛkan yɛ no ɔmo hu sɛ Michael Kuedia no ahyɛto nkurɔfoɔ mmienu sɛ baako deɛ wamvotu ama no ɛna baako deɛ wɔsɛɛ ne ballot nti ballot paper asɛe no yɛde ato nkyɛn nti correct ballots a ɛwɔ the other side no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛbɛkan and it was obvious say since a yɛakan way which has less number 136 no there is this will account for 137 one ballot paper say MPP for yi astati sɛ ɔmo yɛ confusion ɔmo ntena ase ma abambabi bɛyɛ ɛyi nti deɛ ɛho maa ne sɛ Carlos Ahinkra wabɛhwim paper no te sɛ sɛ na wɔka no it was an ugly spectacle say it will not fade in the history of in our parliamentary history nti ɛno mu a na sine nneɛma nyinaa so ɛbɛfa better because in fact you can say court ankasa no is based on evidence. It is based on facts and figures. It is based on logic and it is based on common sense. Enti IMMA-ADIZA say ekobani say me ba court na me say IMMA-ADIZA tadie anase duku ye hye eye media na wuwa wiasa tadie na na duku no na me no kokota ye ba court no be bisame emunsem why I think that atadie na hye wo na duku na hye wo no eye media ye bisa mu nsam nyina wie a court no am finding the wisdom anka say me maka ma asem ewie no wusu esese yetutu wa no bisa o say atade e hye we anaduku ye hye we unya ne he. Do you get my point? Enti se one bisa sa nipa kro no say unya ne he ti say yisi figures a odi ba ye no NDC having said their side of the story no yisi no so how did you arrive at these figures and what accounted for the change in those figures? Figures continue to change, The court has ruled say those questions must not be served on the EC. They have been prevented from giving any accountability. And one is say yes, NDC for nobody should cross-examine the EC. In fact, NDC for your application at their court and say they want to do inspection of documents. Documents are EC no jina soa or mudi yes a declaration. They want to make inspection of those documents. Court and say omumbini. Ma yen yes in fact, omuma NDC the assurance say all Sanya requests now you have the opportunity when the cross-examination comes. Now, Mramono, ya will be a friend Estopel. Estopel no ASA se mu diasem, and you give somebody a reasonable cause to believe about something, say a year real. Now a channel it ended up say what the nipa krono ntroa then eno no your friend no estupel eno bi ena akosi no one man nipa krono the impression the assurance say you all these questions see don't ask them, don't request for all this inspection of a say ekoba cross examination you get the opportunity to cross examine that person. So NDC were made to believe say such an opportunity exists, only for them to come to the breach, to find out that there was no breach at all to be crossed. And no be na your friend with illegal terms no estupel. Now baby I say no, it was obvious where the ruling was heading to. And in fact, any objective watcher be able to say how the case was handled. No? The outcome should not come as a surprise. Be unanimous. And see, at the end of the day, you see, okay, and yes, she say Musi Nanado ni na buy no ma winia. Gafili Gaduki. Wa winia resources nuni. Enumwa na yedi benya vetting. IMMA-ADIZA vetting no die. IMMA-ADIZA niama kosu. Hey, ministers pani. Hey, IMMA-ADIZA. Say we na kase minister ye interview no a utimi hu say enkoye. Beni nyina no. Almost they have the men. And the men no amude about vetting no. They were badly exposed. Nyina ye hu ye. But nyamincha they were passed. Na ye passi omu ye no so. Omu output chere that most of them they are highly incompetent. Either say omu ankasa omu nisika omu dibe rule mine enti statutory funds are SSA echo district assemblies ni nyama nyina nko. Enti se one will say under the year under review no nyama ncheda nko ye school feeding emun semsem hwe me no ka say national health insurance for eso exactly forestry for omusu nsem bebre omuka emba afesu napco for omuankasa afa omu say omunkoye adwuma no napco for no you cannot measure omu productivity to sky yes and wo napco so we can't measure enti niama bebre wo ho a under the year no hu say enkoye na wo bisa MPP for a the ombeka kira on say COVID. Meanwhile, it has nothing to do with COVID. They have mismanaged the economy from day one as they came with their elephant-sized government. Omudi abe mismanage bibia asay Ghana sika. As a siano, omu nisika bium, omuko borokrana. Nobody looks them in the face. And therefore, they are faced with the reality. Na die ya wo muni se omo ankasa aka se IMF die omo nko hobim na se ye kan qualifications a qualify obi to be HIPIC and as se o ko IMF a omo atwemu wo ho and it's not getting any better. Entina omo make sure say the bia omo benya sika bia anyhow omudi taxes ni niama nyina ba hwe government agencies nyina no there has been an increase of 15% in every government fees and charges. Ebani say uko institutions na uko akotua a year so mu pass budget we are say driving license na uko akoye the fees there will increase by 15%. Say birth certificate na ukwakoya the same thing. So who university now fees being ukwakoya is all going up by 15%. Meanwhile, abaya ketia for no, their salaries and wages are being increased only by 4%. And ube who say the cost of living in the country is getting higher and higher, and the poorer is getting poorer, and it's like there's hopelessness, excruciating hardship. A man for a whom chiro so bronya me far town na nanka bronya pa traffic e back room no 24th na bebia ye de wo ho na kroma ye bibi na msi then the course has it got to do with the COVID na obi ka kire me say nyum bi aba minko tie bi mikotie bi a yesi kroma ye shi bibia hwe nkoyi nti madiza the woman say under the year no yafa speakership mu yafa vetting mu yafa nyama bebre mu na the woman say aban o hwe se na economy no kono a one would have thought say ombe very prudent, ombe sensitive, na ombe very disciplined, in the sense say ombe hwe se na omo spending ni niama etie, but omumfa wenumu nyina anye adwuma. Look at what the government is doing in the private jet, which is costing us so much, yet uka enya dia wobeti onu wo ko baby a wo special vehicle o efa na konya obekwa akotena so aye bo air condition gusu ye twi petrol no free na ye dia fa akonya dia akosi baby ama wabetena so obetena so a na yi sefa kan na be interview no a ya trotro niama no nyina ama no omaye hu rieza enu kra no wo hu boto na odi eyi ahyem ti se na okọ kipkozo si won promise ye say wo besi haboni airport wo only for journalists to go and fetch speech or mankasa atro, and apart from that the manifesto page or more promising to give the people of Cape Coast an airport and a harbor. But actually, no, omuye apology. On the same program, omuye apology no. Obi bisa, wo bisa say school a yes here, President Mama yes here 1 year. Branebe to asuma me na me nkrofo nyamu enko school. School a year kan is not about school a NDC for nkwa na ekom. Ye nyina ye ma because a school no. Na president twa ohene no mpoa. Se ono November 10 year na se saade ono ankasa nkoye. Se sa na obeka kire ohene no dia. Ye wo himpoa a waka se dumso e koso wa Ashanti region no assign the gadgets nyina. Enti yenye hu bibi. Did you hear the president telling Otumfo Asantehene say onu ni gadget say na o hwe say ha no a na make us say would he give such an answer to the chief ana say on kan who say chiefs and the people are taxpayers, and as they pay their taxes they will demand development, and when they demand development it is within their right say omu demand development. And so people bisa now Nibia, there are decorous ways of addressing issues. There are diplomatic ways of addressing issues. The Abutayem Beba. But what he did was no. Year under review, so one thing that should not be lost on us. Say Parliament as constituted today, there were certain areas are omuni representation in Parliament. Now, as according to Adina say omuni kamafo. One, the year from Musa no Central Fee one likwe ni yefre or Musen. Ya omuni na no. Nobody seemed to be speaking for them. ye cancel as a aban no nhye da mfa nye adwuma enti de kan say year no ufa year ni nyina no a nyama nko yi Ghanaians are suffering. In fact, uko bisa baomia ono ankasa beji atum say nurses are suffering, teachers are suffering, patients are suffering, doctors are suffering, farmers are suffering, traders are suffering, tailors are suffering, drivers are suffering, maids are suffering, car owners are suffering. Enti yen nyina ye suffer. Your friend is saying we live in a year. The year under review, we have seen increments in petrol prices 17 times and even still counting. Now, there ya woman say drivers no soon say yen titi petrol soon are buying more flimsy excuses. Meanwhile, Nyama determine the price of fuel. Yen say it has to do with the world market price, which the government has no control over. But the other things which has to do with the taxes build up, the strength of the city, it is within the purview of the government. Now, Baumia Amaya say he has the technical know-how to solve all these problems. So what is happening to the city? And the taxes now, almost say they are moving from taxation to production. What has happened to all the taxation they are keeping on the poor Ghanaians? And prices now here at the pumps, has to do with the mismanagement of the economy that is rather pushing up taxes and our strength of the city, which the government seem to have lost control over. Enti the woman no enti year no a won say ekọ ewie ya amanfo ntimi nsere madiza na the free no say aban omaye niama very tough and rough and amanfo ebrepa na obrena war system no it is real. People are so agitated. Roads no so they are not building. Hospitals, they are not building. In fact, schools, they are not building. We share how much they are dedicating to infrastructure. And now what we call CAPEX, capital investment. You come to realize these are not people who are committed when it comes to developing the country, just because they have mismanaged the economy and they don't have the physical space to go into other areas like building what we saw, the KJTS, the terminal trees, the Legon hospitals, and what have you. They don't have it. Omuni scan yet Omuno simply so akacha say they are better managers of the economy. But in reality, I think Ghanaians are seeing the difference. And the difference is crystal clear. Say President Mahama is heads and shoulders above his peers. And the Ombeye Ninano, I don't think say Ombetimi Amachi President Mahama in any shape or form. Any day, anytime, anywhere, they can't match President Mahama. That is why he's even inviting them to the table so that they match records. But say Omankasa nim say untimi nkofa lightweight embe jina embe standy heavyweight. It is a complete mismatch. Madiza.
Medase papa pana yeshe afi ye budget ayentimi ampasi aya to asheda on the 18th of January 2022 year. And who asem yen kan ye kodiewo tax friend e-levy no and no so oshe from January to this December dimwa kotien pa tre say Ghana for say yen yintu a yen jai aban jai se odi e-levy no eba na enkrofo chirechire mu a omo ni mo de echire mo de aneche se no de ye friend say kokoto ebekum wo ma eye kwade wu a emwa citizen sino emwa ye pra nanka yeso ye wa bonti anasa nke ele person nka yeso ye beka senka president de nka you practice what you preach ba ye ready ekoso na president no until say dogo bi enu abe na emumo pese ye de ye fa ye last dime enfa na ye last person no enfa mo onu fili niwa onye na adwene se ono de obekati ni coat according to the size why ne ho say as oye Saudi Arabian king and as oye king of Zulu into ono de e was say ye gina baba ne refi say oye president enra na me nam social media na me say European Parliament omo ayeyi omo ko ho no say they are there for because of the people people no ana elected omo ekoho into everything they are doing for the people omo yama nipa na etu abama omo koho no into no was say omampanyini yenti obia adoboga adogagai adosheshe adogagai was so obafom no hunu se sa era na ye ka boga na twam nti omra fie oma adwene ne mra fom ne mra fie no njai gagai no njai se odware wo wie mu no no mra ye level to said ye na ope to me no otime wie yare akokọ ene fanta ye hu bi ori akokọ ne fanta obi aso nim se ori akokọ ne fanta be fa wo yem owie ya osan no pia otagu so ye hu se wo ye twimokoyira wa pa na odi ampesi a engo kokogu so ne ko bi da so omra onko ompen konkon enko na chi na onko hwe na samre na oni ye di banchi ampesi ne fanta ne ye kan sa akokọ na mo ewo ba no onsa mu kompen konachi no nkwohwe no njai wie mu no a one se wa abroni enjoy na asese nso tokra ye ntimi so bi enfensi one ye dia ya ade efise wukodware anema ukoso anema a wubehunu no nsuo na waso nim wa ese wani ense ukachire obi anim de oba ne be ma eye yi no mu dware a sede nsuo no ya na eye fanti yesi nsuo no sese nyame to nsuo anya hygiene we say wanti woni ye yes sese no nsuo to a president hu nsuo one se wa broni ni sane gu a ti untimi nso fa anya hwe ama enu nti eka ho bi nti na enuaba ne ntimi enyini no nti no onyai na eja 11 no omra ye level na 11 ontwam no nja ye nijie no na onye teenager or old man or ye den kra age akache no said ye nyina ebe kache ye someday no nti no oye den a wrinkle na start say ba you can't stop it nti yesre na onyai de oye no na omra ye level no menum pure water ni bi pure water na biem da so ensan ye na omra na enum no njai say o behave to say Saudi Arabian king or mokra o majai sa niema ne Dubai for king no fi say Dubai king no se odware enya sa niema ni nyina odi se oye fi say obi anim say Dubai na desert and ye develop into ono ba e de na we develop onye efu enu ane se odware wo wiem yes na tie no kra ne kan ya nso kan wi anu a free inti na mesa ato ama obiom na 11 no watu aban no fo no wajai tie bre na ye bre na wasamene apamaye
okay let me say 11 no let me say Ghana for ankasa aka say enya de a omube jiatum. Reason being that Abani Omwa introduce a lot of taxes. Now taxes now Omwa introduce no. Obia can say it is about enough. Last budget I yedi ejuma which is the 2021 budget. No. Taxes nyina omo hwehwe no. Taxes revenue omo hwehwe no omo target no ye 55 billion. Now going into 2022, no, that 55 billion no, is being increased from 55 billion to 80 billion, which is 25 billion more. Now, that 25 billion more, no, it is not coming from the presidency. Taxes are che am agu mini also say ye betuya. Now ye betuya we are. Ube bisa who say, are we getting value for money? Are our taxes being utilized how we want it to be? Development, as I said, taxes no enkoyenu na. Unim say ukoto prepaid in Yamaya, you pay for street lights. IMMA-ADIZA, when you look around, do you see street lights? Ukodo at Monaco Junction, who street lights biana. Enti nyama bebre wo ho we pay taxes for. We pay taxes for, yet we don't get returns SSA yenya. Uko utimi koto bibi na VAT daso. Out of that VAT no ye be the call NHIS ni nyamai. Ubeko say ukwa assessi NHIS, ubeko hospitals no. Nyama yebeka cho say to we free no. Ube bisa on say, is it really free? As we are being told now. And see, nyama bebre wo ho a man for full say, ye pese ye tia taxa, we should see commensurate development that is tailored in addressing our socio-economic problems ye wo. Among for the Momo taxi ever. Don't forget, say, platform or faso. That platform, their service providers, no, they are charging 1%. Now, sa charges no mono, sa 1% no IMMA-ADIZA. In Crawford, be fire chiri, aqua taxi woman on that in scanner or maniano. Uti the mechanism. Now, if you won't so or year. Yenuma ye tuya sa 1% na mo akwa taxi no. Yesu a ye ba be access sa platform no so. Musu mu taxi yeso. Na who be a parasite on that platform no. You want to tax 1.75 more than the service provider which are the telcos. Enu na ye hwe na ye see there be. Mudi eyinu ba no musi all electronic transactions bia you want to tax all electronic transactions. Muye so all bank transactions are be a bank to bank me yiska from me bank na me de mawa na ya yim 1.75. Enu achire ni amanfo a omo amanoni a ye from mo bogus ni niaman na be a wo pekakra dia money fee e dia supportive family and also dia ye na juma bia na ni project be no so. Western Union on betty charges MoneyGram for betty charges. Sa charges na MoneyGram ni Western Union ni niama no. The Ghana government no will tax them for that sekana ombenya from sa fees now. Fees and charges or mu charge you no. Omu wie so a omu pese wo send this as sekano and say the receiver of it no. Ono so wasan beji ohun sika. And every transaction that you do along the line, or mati musika, and when I can say debi, it is too much. Apart from that, we are being encouraged to go into what we call cashless society. And no, say, yempese amount for kita ska bebre edi nanti. Enti yedi nyama ba senebeya, you don't carry money along. And any ebini momoi, ebini say ube fa Uber, and I say. taxi a benya gadget a utimi slot a ubetua electronically without necessarily paying cash. And these are the society a pese ye encourage ye grow. Nobody is our taxes ba. Yes, now people will be forced to take their Ghana must go to the bank, withdraw large sums of money to transact their businesses just to avoid the. And also, we want to, make it a thing of the past. And we are saying that enono encourage businesses, it is going to affect the ordinary people. Yes, Momo transactions. In fact, Baumiankasa is on record to have said, Momo, no, most of the people who engage in Momo transactions are in Kofoa, ordinary people, poor people. So he doesn't see the sense in taxing those people. And the same person who said this, who is still the head of the economic management team, is championing. Enuna ye kachiro mu se ye ntena ho ma obi embe fa yesika njam nanka taxes no ya ma omu bebre dada omu ji sanitation and whatever tax, omu ji COVID tax, omu increase VAT flat rate, omu increase government fees and nyina no. These are all revenues ebetimi abo mfutu. Na e-levy omu kan, it is going to account for somehow 6 to 7 billion Ghana cedis. Now 6 to 7 billion Ghana cedis, we think that there are avenues where we can plug that money without necessarily taxing the people. And it's a Ugofa Auditor General's reporter. You come to the realization that last year alone, Sika that has not been accounted for is over 12 billion Ghana cedis. So if you take half of that, it has taken care of the e-levy. That you don't need to levy Ghanaians, burden them all, and allow people to go about their businesses. That will make business less costly, because obi your business now your thing is asking now, he will pass on the cost. And who or my mom, two things you need to look at: the cost of living. One, the cost of living sky here. Ni yedibe share your brabom, and the cost of doing business. One, as we keep it, the cost of doing business within appreciable levels. Send a buyer encourage amount for to invest in your economy, because don't forget, say the cost of doing business is higher. People will look elsewhere. People may think Togo is better and Cote d'Ivoire is better, and to bet me who Ghanaians cry or more migrate to other areas to go and do business because they find the place business friendly. And the air can say e-levy a bibia Ghana for a kiki against, and Ghanaians are being solidly represented in Parliament by the NDC, ensuring say we will stand firm, united, and ensure say this e-levy will not see the light of day, because we think that this government is so insensitive. If it so or if you car
nti sɛdeɛ ahoma no asa abu ne mu no mɛfa kwanya wei so na mada Uncle Ben Uncle Ben pacho to asoma pacho to asoma
yeah, enti ye can say aban no ehia sika no, you ought to be also financially disciplined. Expenses niama, you ought to look at that. You cut down on expenses, it will save you some money.
network no enni mwaye nti no Uncle Benny entimi wrem na me wo mu dia ene me fa sa akwanya we so na mada Evangelist Richard PRAH oye 2020 parliamentary candidate for NDC wo Nhyiaye so constituency na mesa fa kwanya we so asa da Uncle Ben a osan wrem de maame ema wo baaye ahoma no na ama wano ansi nti no sa ebo ne tofa na mene etiefo ye bre na ye bre abro so nti no sede wasi abemu ye wose mema wakwanya na de wano siyi ekire etiefo na mene etiefo etwetwe nkomo
volume no
pa
wolo
to asoma me me pa cho network na nti me say na many atiefo atwetwe nkomo fix say na network ne nye nti wabade a ene ewie maye na ye bre na ye bre na bonneto famaye sum it up for us.
yeah enti me sum it up no IMMA-ADIZA the Ghana for SSO muti ase ne say you see enough is enough. E-levy no we stand very firm and united against the E-levy enya de a ye beji atum enti say aban no wo nhihye fufuro bi a they can come back, go and redesign or rewrite their budget and make sure say it meets the expectation of Ghanaians. In fact, budget GMA for expectations have not fully been met. Nurses, teachers, drivers, in fact, yen as citizens ankasa no kra nyama bebre a expect your budget. We don't seem to see it. Only for us to be taxed the more no enya dia ye bejiatu. Enti aban we there ya can say omuni yo ne omubi bia no points to one thing. They are clueless, incompetent, and whatever they are doing is like this is a confused government. Even as it is captured in the budget, say, if the budget is passed, clear two boots. A confused government will not even wait for the budget to be approved, and then they issue directive say, YMB all the two boots. The be as it may, you feel say 2024 no obian bomodian say vote this incompetent, clueless government out of office and bring in people who can manage this economy better, as we have seen in the past. And the best person to do that is the man with vision that determines his mission. John Dramani Mahama, 2024, inshallah, our victory will be history. It does.
Medaste pa Uncle Ben say, Oje bre na ubi holidays na metchen ono waba medase nyame nhyira say de bia obo machiridom said ya medi kan ka kira amanfo no. You have always been my rock and always you are my rock. Medase papa penkrofo nim de woye mame wo enchen say edru baabi a mebubu ye senye wafutuo ene nkranhya kamindru ha ankameka wokwem nipa bebre nim tietiefo nyina mesere mo say ya moda momompa ye ni bi ma Uncle Ben emami efise oye me rock company ampa enye se owa ha ana meka munim dada meka na several times into Uncle Ben medase ewo wafutu pa wode mami abrano se wafa mimi aketwa na utumefo abrano na o shemi nkran efise enye wanka menuru hase na mesada Evangelist Richard PRAH ase ene obi bia NDC France medamase papa power dia moye mami ana minua be ma Evans Dakon nyame nhyira opa me boss. Anna me boss. Ba kope. Ama Rosie ahofe oba paso no ahofe ba kope. Eye Ama Rosie. Me da se papa pase. Ono de so tu kwan kro tumi yi ne mpaboa de hye nkrofo say. Monhwe IMMA-ADIZA emma esoma me. Nti no oye me boss a me mfa ne ni agro. Ama Rosie nyame nhyira wo oye me rock ne me backbone. Nyame nhyira papa pani Dr. Lawrence ne obi biara wofa K wofa yaw ene Mr. Usu Echan ene obi biara na mehunu me brasa that me da se papa se wa tana ayi so ene me ahwa akwa akosi ene obi biara a woka ho mesremo mihu bibia ye papa enso so me da obi asese watenem ama abepem na manya viewers ankasa omo na di omo baaye omo ankwa omo na me atenemu a ema yapon nti ene no ye ka ye Christmas ene hardship a ewo mu a still a enkrofo ye fam a ebi mu di ye ebi mu so etu ahye da fi say ye say kroma ye hye nti ye hwe se 2022 na Nyankopon be sakra be ye magic bia ma yenya na ya ye na dwumadie eye nokware no nie IMMA-ADIZA we ye mpunimpu special na nokware no nie na akasa no ebe hye ase first week of February nti mpunimpu no ye gusu a eno de obia betimi ewramu bia na se wa opese obaso bia no wo betimi aka akire me na me de wabaso ebi na wo so abeka waadwene akire afei comment side no ka waadwene kire waadwene saa na nokware no nie no etse nti no media ye ka bibi fa media ho ene se de yakeka oma no atomu a ene okoka asembone ana aban ne de oye no koka ho asem ana ye de wato tankruwam ama wadwuma kra na wa hwe ya na abo ye yibi adia kama ebi ne teacher Kwadwo ne Bridget Otu ene ho keka ho se manase azo ono mpo de Nyankopon na atwia ne ka fi se utwa ntora yesi de otwe sekan no owu osekan no en confirm Mr. Kodi sika atwa ntora se confirm etuko Burkina on de onya nhunure nya betwia ne ka mo wunya hunure manase azuri wunya hunure efi say yesi JM ye bukro kosua so ye bukro kosua de a ene na fasten your seat belt na ubehuna mane yie papa ebubro kosua de ebeye entimi nsai da Nyankopon ne pra ne ho timeda obi bia ase ne ye wada sene esoso a eye 2022 Nyankopon de nkwa acheyen obema ya ahoden sononko ye besen hia wo efie he ya na ye the new year a 2022 eye January ye de asohye so ansa na mekono mi akasa menua bema ye fe ne fatao holy nika Sunday ya ye second or ya ye fro wanya oba paso no eyi na jata o ware na kwhye ne dem na eja o mato ade awarefo eye oso inti no bia I wa tonsu baby di event planning center bi ewo atonsu mesemu amote wo ni nyina mu ni me hwe na maka ne yie ama obia atibi yesi AB's event center opposite atonsu market no mesremo obia meka emra no meye yenua no mbebo na tujom no nware kama na ehye Nyankopon mu nyam oye young o simuntem na oni adwaman bia entem wo pese oni adwaman entem kwan ewa ntino na Jat Idrisu ana fatao UC oye groom oye miami nua bema convener for BBM Nyankopon ka ho na kwasiada meshe mata de kama na mababa be jam fefefe Uncle Ben me da asese oba ya me tia busuafo ni nyina enjoy your stay. Enche me ba nkrani abehwe abum why bronya na metu ahyedam me ba ho am yedi why okay inti no me da sister oba inti ne bye bye tie fo nyina ye oda sene bye.